or give her a couple of.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Thursday, August 4th, 2022, 2 p.m. in the afternoon. This is a meeting of the Select Board of the Town of Bolton. First up on our agenda, and I'll read all the items. There are 4 bullet points. This is to consider a liquor license for the International at 159 Ballville Road. There are 4 bullet points. 1, to establish a fee for a one-day all alcohol liquor license specifically addressing for-profit entities. The second is consider a request for alteration of premises for the existing all alcohol club license. The third is consider request for 7 one-day liquor licenses from the Catered Affair Inc. for 159 Ballville Road for August 30th through September 5th, 2022. And fourth and last is to consider a request to reinstate the club license to its original parameters on Tuesday, September 6th, 2022. Don, do you want to just lead us off on that?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. First on the agenda, the establishment of the fee. We need to do that because we have never had such a request before. Therefore, there was no corresponding fee. Having reviewed our fee structure, it seemed to me that $100 per day for each of the one-day liquor licenses was certainly appropriate. So it is my recommendation that your first step is to vote to establish that fee as proposed.
Okay. Folks, any questions?
No questions.
Okay, I'll take a motion to establish that fee.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Roll call, Sikansky,
Aye.
Winner,
Aye.
Wysocki.
Aye.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. So the next 3 steps are, as I laid out for you in the briefing packet
Just getting
that I
started.
sent you on Tuesday.
Okay, thank you.
This is a result of the meeting that we had that included Ralph Sacramone, who's the executive director of the ABCC, along with Mr. Marconi, who's the CEO of the catering company, Mike Goggin, et cetera. So this is the established practice for doing something like this. The 3-step process is, first, the current liquor license holder, that being the International, needs their request approved to effectively shrink their premises as defined on the current liquor license to a premises established only as the clubhouse. When they refer to the clubhouse, it's what we would have referred to as the old ballroom. So if I confused you by saying the fireplace room, that's why. So it would be the old ballroom. Once that vote is done, then the Catered Affair is eligible to apply for those 7 one-day liquor licenses. They need 7 days worth of one-day liquor licenses because on Tuesday and Wednesday, they will be transporting the product in and handling it. Thursday is the Pro-Am, which is non-ticketed, but it's still an event for the pros and caddies and so forth, and some members on the course. Friday, Saturday, Sunday is a 3-day tournament, and then Monday, again, the product is being removed from the course, and only the holder of the one-day liquor license may handle the product or their agents, which is why it needs to be done that way. And then the last step is to reestablish the premises back to the way they were originally. So there's no expansion of the premises other from what they currently have. So you need to shrink them, vote those 7 one-day liquor licenses, and then reestablish them. And Mr. Sacramone confirmed that can all be done at this one meeting by 3 individual votes.
Okay. Any questions, Emily, Bob?
No questions.
All right, so just to be clear, the request for shrinkage, is that on for August 30th?
That is for the first day of the awarding of the liquor licenses. I believe it's August 30th, yes.
Okay.
That'd be Tuesday, August 30th, and then would be reestablished on Tuesday, September 6th.
All right, well then I'll ask for a motion to approve the request for alteration of the premises for the existing all alcohol club license beginning Tuesday, August 30th, 2022. Someone want to move the motion?
Bob is muted. Emily, can you?
So moved.
All right,
I'll second that. Sorry about that.
all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Roll call, Jenny. You're muted, Jenny. There you go.
Bob and I are having opposite problems. Roll call Sikansky,
Aye.
Winner,
Aye.
Wysocki.
Aye.
You.
Okay. And then next we have to consider the request for the 7 one-day liquor licenses for the Central Catering and Fair Company for 159 Ballville Road for August 30th through September 5th. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Roll call
Aye.
Sikansky,
Aye.
Winner,
Aye.
Wysocki.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. Last but not least, to approve the request to reinstate the club license to its original parameters on Tuesday, September 6th, 2022. Do I have a
So
motion?
moved.
So moved. So I have a second.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Jenny, you're muted again. There you go.
Roll call Sikansky,
Aye.
Winner,
Aye.
Wysocki.
Aye.
Thank you.
So Jenny has these all teed up for your signature. Once we have your signatures, they can be submitted to the ABCC for their review and approval.
Okay, so they're at town hall, Jenny?
Jenny, you're muted again, but she is nodding her head.
Yes,
Yeah, I
they're,
saw, I was watching. She said yes. Okay,
yep,
great.
they're in the yellow folder. They're all set
Okay,
to be
great.
signed.
Okay, great. We'll all come over and get those executed.
Great. Good luck to Mike and Alex and everyone else
Yes.
that's on board. Thank you.
Don, thank you, all of the board. Thank you so much. Greatly
You're very
appreciate it.
welcome. Our pleasure. Good luck with the event.
Very much.
Thank you.
Okay, take care. Next up is select board business to vote and execute the warrant for the state primary on September 6, 2022. If there are no questions, I'll take a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Roll call Sikansky,
Aye.
Winner,
Aye.
Wysocki.
Aye.
Thank you.
Next up is a discussion of Forbes Mill Road Culvert project options. Randy, are you with us?
Yes, I am. Thanks. Thanks
Okay.
for accommodating, giving a little time this afternoon.
Sure, sure.
Looking for some guidance from the board on how best the board would like to proceed on the permanent replacement of the drain culvert on Forbes Mill, which is culvert number 2, just before the entrance to the transfer station. This is the culvert that a temporary replacement was done a few years ago. And we have to put in a permanent replacement now to comply with the current rules and regulations. We have contracted with the firm of Ty and Bond to do the design for the permanent replacement. As part of that design, we did a holistic hydrologic and hydraulic analysis of the whole road, realizing that there are three other culverts on the road, and at some time in the future, probably nearer rather than later, those culverts also will probably likely fail and need replacement. So the hydraulic evaluation looks at the whole road and was looking at what size each of the culverts should be to meet the hydraulics and stream crossing rules and regulations. Hydraulically, all of the culverts meet a 9'9" span. And I say 9'9" span because that's key. It's less than 10 feet. If it's less than 10 feet, it's not a bridge. If it goes 10 feet or larger, it becomes a bridge in the eyes of the DOT. The engineers hydraulically determined a 9.9 foot span would handle the hydraulic flow for a 10-year storm. And their cost was about $860,000. A 14-year storm, a 14-foot span, which meets the remaining environmental regulations, primarily the stream crossing standards. What they do is they measure bank width at various locations upstream and determine an average width of the stream. And the state has set forth regulations to say that you must, for the sake of wildlife, etc., maintain that stream width through your culvert, and that would be a 14-foot span. And that estimate of that cost is about $1.4 million. That, because it's greater than 10 feet, turns into a bridge. Jenny, I don't know if you want to put up the handout. We can kind of go through the handout. I think it helps explain things a little bit better. Awesome. Thank you very much. As I mentioned, we did the hydraulic analysis and looked at it. The 9-foot span and the 14-foot span would obviously carry all of the meet the hydraulic needs of the road. The stream crossing standards, the 9'9" span does not meet that standard, whereas the 14-foot span meets that standard. Both culverts have similar permitting, some a little bit more onerous than others. For a 9-foot span, it's a conservation permit, required notice of intent. There's some DEP permitting required, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. And it's important to note the Corps of Engineers, because we're not doing the stream crossing standards, it's about an additional 1-year permitting process to get it to advertise. On the 14-foot span, similarly, the conservation, Mass DEP, Corps of Engineers permit is much easier because it's a permit by self-verification, from my understanding. The Mass DEP permitting is also more straightforward because we're not asking for any waivers to the stream crossing rules and regulations. But because it's greater than 10 feet, there's a Chapter 85, which is under Mass DOT, which is about a 3-month permitting process and requires a little bit of extra hydraulic analysis and geotechnical work and some additional survey. The construction time is very similar for both options, 2 to 3 months. The road would have to be closed while the construction is ongoing. The existing design right now is being covered under Chapter 90. There's some additional costs for permitting for each of the alternatives. For the 9'9" span, it's about an additional $10,000, or for the bridge, it's an additional $55,000. That's primarily the additional hydraulic, geotechnical, and survey for the bridge crossing. I kind of went through how I think funding would go with this project. For a 9'9" span, as you recall, we received a special appropriation for $400,000 through Representative Hogan's office. That, because we are not complying or not meeting the stream crossing standards, meeting the stream crossing standards, other grants related to this crossing, I think, would be hard to obtain. Whereas with the 14-foot span, because of the stream crossing rules being met, it opens us up to some additional opportunities for grant funding. The biggest of which is a FEMA hazard mitigation construction grant, which is a 90%, 10% match out of a $1.4 million project. The 10% exposure to the town is about $140,000. That is competitive. And that is kind of the reason we asked for this meeting today, because their applications are due in October, but there's some preliminary engineering that we need to get done to be able to submit the application, to put forth a good application. So town appropriation, the town actual cost for each of the culverts. On the 9 smaller culvert, it would be about a $460,000 cost to the town. That's taken into account the $400,000 appropriation, special appropriation that the town received. And I just did a quick loan calculation, set a 20-year loan at a 4% rate. It brings our, town costs up to like $567,000. So it adds, another $100,000 to the cost if it's a borrowed. Whereas with the bridge span, our cost, the town's cost would be $140,000 plus the additional engineering and that has a mitigation grant application. So our costs are under $200,000. We have some opportunities to cover the hazard mitigation grant costs and the additional permitting through some other mechanisms, but the town's exposure is about $200,000 total. Next slide, Jenny, please. Next page, Jenny, please.
You're on mute, Jenny.
I'm sorry, I was talking to somebody at the counter. What did I
Yeah,
miss?
next page, please.
Oh, certainly.
So I kind of did a pros and cons of each of the different alternatives. For the 9'9" span, obviously it's a lower construction cost. It's about $500,000 less than the 14-foot span. And it's a 1 month shorter construction period, which in the overall scheme of things, I think that's a negligible difference. Some of the cons are it's a lower hydraulic capacity and doesn't really meet the resiliency goals that are being set forth for climate change. It's more difficult and longer permitting process because we're not meeting all of the stream crossing standards. And there's obviously a risk if we seeking a waiver for the stream crossing standard, the permitting agencies can accept our application. We can go through it, submit it. At the end, they can say, no, we want you to meet standards. So it can become almost like a lost effort and higher out of pocket costs for the town versus the pros and cons for the 14-foot span. Because we're not seeking any specialized waivers, it's a much more streamlined process. We're more likely to obtain FEMA hazard mitigation funding because of the larger span. Because of the waivers we'd be seeking, FEMA mitigation dollars would be probably not fundable for the smaller culvert, but it's possible they could. We have much higher hydraulic capacity with the larger culvert, obviously can carry as much more water. And in the future, it's not, I don't know if it's a pro, but in the future, the DOT, because it's a small bridge, would undertake the inspection of the bridge moving forward. The cons are obviously it's a higher construction cost, and it can also be a con for the Mass DOT to be take on the inspections in the future. Next slide, Jenny, please. This is, I don't want to get too deep in the weeds here, but this is part of the hydraulic analysis we did for the culvert, for the replacement culvert. We refer to it as culvert number 2, because coming from Main Street, it's the second culvert you cross when you're going down Forbes Mill Road. And the analysis is done for the design on a 10-year storm, which I've highlighted in each of tables 4-8 and 4-9. And you see, one of the key things in this table is the freeboard, which is the amount of of basically air space above the water level on a 10-year storm through the culvert, and the distance to the top of the road, because obviously the culvert is below the roadbed. 10-year storm for a 9'9" culvert, its freeboard is a little more than half a foot, but a distance to the top of the road is a 1 foot. When you get into a 25 or a 50-year storm, when you start getting a 50-year storm, you'll see the -0.3 on the distance to the top of the road. That means that the water level at the culvert is just starting to go over the road surface. If you look down a little bit further in the next table 4, and table 4.9, and same thing. 25 and 50, you don't start seeing the water getting over the road until a 500-year storm. So looking for guidance from the board on which do we, how would the board like us to proceed? Because we're under some time frames.
Yeah, no, thanks, Randy. Don and I had an opportunity to talk about this. It would seem to me that the 14-foot bridge option is an overall better option from a variety of standpoints, as well as, although the cost is more, the cost is less to the town, and we have much more opportunity to recoup monies above what was appropriated by the earmark from Kate Hogan. So it seems to be a better solution, and ultimately we have an opportunity to recoup the additional costs where it may not cost us much, if anything at all, as opposed to, we know we're going to be spending at least $460,000 for the 9'9" option. So my view is that the bridge 14-foot option is, at least from my perspective, the better choice. Emily, Bob?
I would agree with Stan, and I just have one question for Randy. When this was designed, were they using, I know they've updated rainfall data based on increased precipitation. So that I don't know if the updated rainfall data was used in these calcs.
I can't quite hear you. I thought it's something about updated
Yeah,
data.
For stormwater calcs, the rainfall data has been updated. I don't know if the more current data was used in these calculations. But in general, I would definitely agree with Stan with the larger crossing that meets the stream crossing standards. For other reasons, I think it's a better option.
The engineers use the NOAA Atlas 14 Model 10 data, whatever that means.
I don't know, but I know
Okay.
last fall,
So-
I believe last fall they updated everything. Depending on when they did the calculations, I think it was last fall they were targeting updated information, because what we were using for stormwater was outdated. And we've obviously had increased precipitation these days. So I'm assuming they probably have used the most current data anyway.
And Randy, sorry, this is Eric Ohanian from Ty and Bond. I've been listening in. Randy, you've been doing a really great job summarizing the project. And I just want to clarify that, yes, we did use updated hydraulic information. We completed the report last month in July.
Okay.
And I understand that there was a previous hydraulic study done localized to the culvert from a previous engineering firm, and that was dated several years ago. And using the later, or I guess the more updated numbers, we did see higher flows, and those were accounted for in this.
Great.
Okay,
Thank you.
and so I'm more comfortable with the bridge solution, both financially and from in terms of solving the problem.
Yep.
So I will move to recommend that the DPW proceed with the bridge solution for Four Bush Mill Road culvert.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Roll call, Sikansky,
Aye.
Winter,
Aye.
Waisaki.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Randy. Appreciate all the work and effort.
Thank you, everybody, for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you very much, Randy. Well done.
Okay, all right, next up, last but not least, a vote to authorize the town administrator to execute the lease agreement with Crown Castle for 570 Main Street. I'm assuming
So
this is
moved.
the cell tower.
Yes, it is.
Okay, do I have a motion to
So
approve?
moved.
So
I
second?
move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Roll call, Sikansky,
Aye.
Winter,
Aye.
Waisaki.
Aye.
Thank you.
And I don't believe we have any other business, although I think what we will be having probably is at our first meeting in September is a discussion of what the DPW director plans on utilizing our Chapter 90 monies for. So we'll be having that discussion, I believe, at the first meeting in September.
Randy's pretty much prepared now. We'll go over the figures probably next week or so.
Okay,
Yeah, we'll
great.
definitely be ready for the first meeting in September.
Excellent.
All
All
right.
right.
Well,
Can I move to
have nothing
adjourn?
further. Anybody else?
No.
No, I will move to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, does- All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Roll call, Sikansky,
Aye.
Winter,
Aye.